Welcome to another episode of Gertie's Group Chat where it's
getting
serious.
Oh, Lord.
It's getting serious.
How are you guys? I haven't seen you guys in so long.
Ashley.
Oh, my Lord. All jokes aside, life is crazy, but it's good.
Life is lifing, but we living.
That's good. That's good. So what you guys been up to? What have you been doing?
Dating. And
Does it exist for you?
no.
But she's open. You know,
I'm open. I'm dating right now. I am, but it's just
What's making it go Sharon?
because the men. I think all the good men is either in jail or locked up. I mean, jail or dead.
The men want to be women.
Oh, the men want y'all to.
go
They
far.
want us to chase them. I'm the one that's supposed to be being chased.
Period.
Even though I can't run, but
No, nobody should me. All wrong.
No, in all seriousness.
Oh, wow.
But overall, the topic is about, as you hear us hinting, dating in 2025. How is
How
that
do
going?
you feel about it?
Oh, me? Dating started off very rough, but I will say that I am honestly enjoying dating right now.
I love that for you.
Yes.
So I'm definitely in my soft girl era. I am enjoying a very healthy, and I want to put emphasis on healthy.
He's going to be watching this like,
Yes!
I'm loving it. It was a struggle, and it's still a struggle each day, but I think my biggest challenge in dating is learning to unlearn unhealthy dating habits.
yeah.
Absolutely.
What about you?
You went too fast. Yeah, man.
Yeah.
You all in our business.
So dating for me at this moment is I'm open to dating. However, I'm not currently dating.
What is
You know,
this?
we're just talking. We're getting to know people at this moment. I'm not heavy on dating. You know what it is? I think since I've turned the age that I've turned, I don't really want to say it at this moment. We're not here yet. Once we get here, then I'll say it. But
Girl.
since I've turned that age, I just feel like low-key, it feels like a light bulb went off. As far as caring for myself, like I believe there was a lot of time where, I neglect myself. And I would just dress up when it's time to like go on a date or go
Right.
see a guy. I wouldn't really dress up, even though I knew that I can do those things. But I'm in this space now where it's just like I don't know if I can say criterias, but I have a lot of things that it's non-negotiable. So
Standards.
it's like my hair, non-negotiable. My nails, non-negotiable. My feet, non-negotiable. Like having appropriate outfits for different events, non-negotiable. Taking pictures, I feel like taking pictures has not just become like, people will take it as us being cocky, just wanting to take pictures all day. I think it's a way for me to look back and say, damn, you look great.
You that bitch.
And I'm in that space right now where it's just like I'm really loving me. I just want to go to different places, take pictures of places, myself. If I go on a date with myself or somebody else, that would be a plus. I'm really not even in that space. And I think it's just because I'm trying to change the things that I complain about a lot. I'm just not really pressed about a relationship. If it comes at this moment, it comes. But I'm not really like, I'm not looking for it. Now, when I see a fine man, I might question it. But I'll give myself a reality check. So it's kind of...
You're dating yourself, and I really like that for you. You got to date yourself. For y'all who don't know, Ashley's my niece, my baby, my Zorro. And I try to be as honest as I can with her in learning to really fall in love with yourself. Because that's something that I struggle with for a very long time. When you are seeking love in someone else, instead of trying to fall in love with your own self, that causes you to have...
It's hindrance on your growth.
It's hindrance on your growth overall. So it took a tough conversation with my niece who's younger than me. Mm-hmm. She asked me, Auntie, what is it that you like to do for fun? And everything that I listed was everything that pertained to, at the time, my family. My kids, their father, my immediate family, my friends. I didn't know how to answer that question for myself. I didn't know what foods I like to eat. I didn't know what places I like to go. I didn't know anything for myself. And that was me in a relationship feeling so lost. Now that I'm outside of that relationship and I'm in my new era, as I'm approaching 30, my wants and my needs changed. And I knew instead of me trying to prove to someone else that I was worthy enough, I had to prove to myself. And it took a long time. And it was embarrassing that it took for a person that I see as my daughter to challenge me in that area. And I'm really grateful for that conversation that we had. Because you know how difficult it was for me at that point in time. And I made it a duty to love myself and love myself only. Mm-hmm. So my self-love journey for my dating before actually dating started, I would say 2023, but really the beginning of 2024. Because that was when we really started like going out, doing more activities, trying to get more familiar with myself. Because it's like, I used to think being in a relationship or dating was two broken people coming together and being whole. Mm-hmm. And that is not it. It is two people who are self-aware, emotionally aware, and capable of finding their own self-worth, self-identity, and meeting another person that's at the same place. And if they have struggles, then you help them. Yeah. But not a person that is
not open to change.
Not open to change.
Stuck in their ways.
Lack of accountability. Yes. So I needed to develop that for myself. And in that, I was able to change my mindset on how to date. Because dating isn't just like, oh, you cute, I'm cute, we're going to be cute together.
Yeah, it's no longer high school. That's like...
Well, that's what social media called dating nowadays.
That's not dating.
It's the look, it's the glamour, it's the lifestyle.
Right.
You know.
I got 2 fucking kids. Okay?
Hey, wow.
Straight like that.
Can we cross?
At this point, I got 2 fucking kids. And I have boys. And when I looked at myself, I had to ask myself, are you the woman that you would like for your children to marry when you get older? And if you ask yourself that question, the answer is not yes, then you got to change. You have to. I had to really ask myself that.
But we're not... It's not even that we're asking you to change, right? You have to find that within yourself. But when you are ready to change, like, you have to understand that that's not going to happen overnight. It might not even take you like a year. It might take some time. And I think people try to do drastic change, and that's when they crash and burn, because that's not really you. Like, so you need to take one thing at a time and start knocking it down little by little. So like, as we said, I'm working on my appearance and just making sure I'm put together, and then, incorporating us. We go to Barnes and Noble sometimes. So it's like getting new books and like reading. It don't always got to be self-developmental. I like romance and books.
I like the fucking books.
She like the
books
fucking
that
books.
they be having sex in. I like those kind of books because it really open my mind.
I don't need nothing more open than this mind. I need spiritual books. Woman of Christ.
I do have some good. Ashley, I do have like a good collection of books though. Like I do got my sex books, but I got my rich dad, poor dad. Budgeting and all those kind of.
You're more business savvy, so you always looking into. I like self-development, growth, and my walk with Christ, regardless of how I talk.
I do love Jesus, but since my sister been on this journey, she did take a shot though in the back. So don't let her
Let me tell you this. Jesus used
wine. No.
He used the prostitutes.
No,
he used the murderers. He used the people who you thought could not be saved. So he gonna get to me when it's my time.
I just want to make a disclaimer, because I know we'll have a variety of people looking at this podcast. When people say somebody is like your niece, they automatically think like you're 18, and I'm well over that. Okay, so if you want to
call your age now,
just say call your age now.
Call your age now.
Zoom in. What's your age?
Guess her age in the comments.
Yeah, no, don't do that.
But anyway, since we're on the topic of dating in 2025, I'm going to talk about my dating in 2025. It is straight sewer water. Okay? I don't know what it is with the men nowadays, but... Or is it me at this point? Is it me, Jesus?
It's you.
Is it me, Jesus? No, it cannot be me because I've been dating myself for a while. As you know, y'all know I take myself out.
I love Candy.
I take when I say
that she's at.
I take myself to a restaurant by myself. I'll take a trip by myself. Yes. I've been dating myself for a while now. So I'm like, I felt like once I get in the notion of dating myself, then I'm able to go into a situation where I know what I want and how to move. You know what I'm saying? So it can't be me. It can't be me. But since we're speaking on sewer water, let's dive into the Diddy and Cassie situation. Okay. That's the hot topic for right now. It has a whole lot of dating, DV, and a whole lot of mess going on in there. So basically, allegedly, I'm going to make it short. Right now, there's a situation going on where it's been like 155 days. Diddy and Cassie been in court talking about this whole baby oil, gallons and gallons of baby oil, sex toys. He's only liking men with big things to do Cassie, and she was a sex slave, well as other people were sex slaves or whatnot. Mind you, Diddy met Cassie when she was, I want to say maybe 17, 18. But on the internet, it said 21 and he was 28. No, he was 38 and she was 21. So at that time, this was 2007. She was 21 in 2007. That's what Google said. And he was 38. So I feel like in that dynamic with Cassie being younger and vulnerable, I'm sure she probably felt like she had her career on the line. She's messing with this big time celebrity that could kind of like stop everything from happening. She probably was, hungry for what she wanted at that time. And I feel like he used that to manipulate her to like kind of keep her around, because also keep in mind that DV people, they kind of fall in love with their rapist in a sense. And their abuser. Because they did have a time where they talked about that she still like text him here and there. Because if you were in a 12-year sex call or whatever it is, why are you still texting your abuser? Which I know in that case, Priscilla can highlight when it comes to like psychologically how that plays with your mind, especially at that age and be with somebody for that long, taking a God knows what type of other stuff that was going on to that girl. But yeah,
I'm gonna say this: if Diddy can fuck somebody with a remote, he's capable of anything.
They said that?
Yes.
I ain't see that word. I ain't see that. A remote?
I'm not laughing at the situation.
You better say allegedly.
Allegedly. No, okay. It was we'll get into that. But as far as Cassie and Diddy, I view it two ways. Because I, for one, was a girl who dated somebody who was almost 10 years older than them when I was 19. So I understand at the standpoint of you meeting somebody who seems to be mature, put together, that has a career, and especially if, depending on her background, did she have a supporting family?
And I said that. Not to cut you off, I felt like during that time, Cassie could have had a strong unit at that time to kind of like wake her up to say, this is not right. This is not what love looked like. Or this is not what chasing your dream looked like. It was impossible because for her to stay that long, she had to have, I don't want to say completely no one, but she didn't have those people or that person to kind of put a battery in her back at that time.
And I feel like that's two ways though, because we can say that, but then also
she couldn't have listened.
She couldn't have listened. That's stubborn, and she got freedom. She has money. She has fame.
She wanted to sing.
Yeah,
and she can't sing.
I like unofficial.
She cannot. She cannot. Listen, Cassie cannot sing. Go in the comments and tell me if you think Cassie can sing. Cassie was one of those. Listen, I'm a list of people that can't sing, but we got away. They got away with hits.
We're gonna meet these people one day.
Cassie is one. J-Lo is one. Sierra, I love you, but you can't sing. Ooh, she got hits though.
What you wanna do?
Okay, y'all think Cassie and all of them can sing. Which one of them got offered to do the national anthem?
The people who still getting selected for national anthem still fucking it up.
No, that's in the 21 centuries now, because I don't know what's going on. They taking too much drugs. Back in the day, we had the Whitney Houstons, the Michael Jacksons.
Okay, we're comparing them to that. Yes, Cassie can't sit with Whitney Houston.
Absolutely not.
Sure. Yeah, that's
we ain't trying to kick you while you down. We just, we still got love for you. We just saying, you can't sing.
Cassie is a girl who had a dream and she wanted to fulfill that dream.
Yes.
Regardless if she had the support, regardless if she had the money, if she had beautiful girl.
Very beautiful.
And P. Diddy at that time,
he was hot. He was the man.
So why would you not seize the opportunity with Puff Daddy, Combs, Love Combs, all the 15 fucking names he got? Why would you not take that opportunity? And it could have been that she got more support on doing that. It could have very well been, she could have been afraid. She could have been nervous. She could have been any old thing. And her family like, yo, this is a once in a lifetime opportunity. You should take this. Sometimes you get pushed into a situation.
You just reminded me, if anybody watched that R. Kelly documentary, I don't know what was on. Just a little snippet. Those moms used to purposely take their daughters to R. Kelly's room to get that opportunity.
That's wild.
That's crazy as fuck. So yeah, when you say that, like some friends and some family, they push. He would be your ass. Take it. We gotta get out the hood.
But that's the thing, willingly or unwillingly, they could have known that he was like that.
Okay, let me ask y'all, because y'all my girls. If I was in a situation and I was with this big time basketball player, whatever, and he was whipping my ass, but all of y'all got y'all houses, y'all had money weekly because I was with him would y'all tell me to leave him?
You already know I'm the type of friend that I'm gonna tell you.
To what?
The truth.
You gonna tell me to leave him?
I don't care how much money it is.
You gonna tell me to leave him or not?
I will.
What you gonna do, Ashley? You're enjoying the...
You already collecting the BT. So once you finish with it...
That's fucked up.
Wait, but let me finish. Let me finish.
All right.
My thing is, because sometimes when women are going through those type of experiences, they don't upright just tell you right away, right? Like you're not about to go to your friend.
If you see me every day with glasses on, how y'all doing? Bitch, you know I'm getting my ass beat.
Okay, but what I'm saying here is, it's like, it's steps to this, okay? So this is about to sound so insensitive, and I'm not, yes, I'll tell you the truth. I'll tell you, you gotta leave. Like the morale in me will tell you, we gotta go. Mm-hmm. If the evil side of me could come out, right? Like it will be like, if you already getting beaten, we're going to save that money, get your house, and then we out. Like we leaving with, you just said we leaving with something. What we leaving with, beating? I'm just saying. All right. Yeah.
I mean, it's easier to say when you are not the one in that situation.
But when your life is out, like, this topic is like, it's one of those things when you guys joke around and be like, got to laugh from keep from crying situation. Absolutely. Because I've seen this happen firsthand growing up. So it's like in that moment, it's very scary and you kind of freeze in a way, like you don't know what exactly to do, because I've seen the person stuck between the two of loving that man and not really loving themselves because they're not strong enough to walk away. So, yes, the morale in me and the way how I was raised, you getting up out of there. To bring light to the situation is like, okay, cool, we'll collect the money, we'll collect all the assets, and then we'll be out of here. But however, those type of things I don't really play with, because the slightest hit can cost you your life. So that's not even something, you know what? I don't want to play, because especially on the internet, you guys kind of take things and run with it. So it's like, no. When it comes to those type of situations, I'm not going to condone violence. And I am, yes, we're getting you out of there. We're going to call the SWAT team. Uncle Samuel, I don't know if he's a general in the military or what. We're going to get his ass out here. And we're going to have the whole SWAT team to the house.
So y'all will tell me to leave.
For sure.
I would definitely tell you to leave. Okay. As for me being a person who was in a situation that was like that, growing up, my dad and my brothers emphasize on a man should not hit you. If a man put his hands on you, he doesn't love you. He doesn't care for you. He doesn't respect you. Mm-hmm. They emphasize on that. You yell at me wrong.
I swear.
No, but your daddy was definitely that calm, cool, collective type of guy. Your growing up from your father was different from mine. My dad, he whooped all his women asses. That's all I saw. He beat my mom. He beat the women before.
The woman
and I just grew up thinking that's was supposed to happen.
See, I never.
So, yeah.
No, my dad made it clear. My brothers made it clear. Like, even still, while I was in the ending of my relationship, they were still like, he's not putting his hands on you, right? He's not doing this, right? He's not doing that, right? But what people need to understand is physical abuse is one thing, but emotional abuse is what really gets you. Mm-hmm. That is what really gets you.
Mental is a strong thing.
Oh my God. It makes you to put yourself in compromising positions for a long time. And when you finally, Cassie could very well have wanted to leave. But it's like you get to a point where it's like, A, I already been through it for so long, I might as well keep going. B,
my life feels put together outside of this situation.
I should be grateful that I'm in this position. And then it could also be
threatening her.
She could also feel like nobody will believe her.
Yeah.
And that's
especially
because
of his status. Yes, nobody would believe her if she came out at that time and said X, Y, and Z.
At any time, money rules. When a person perceives themselves as one way, a person show you who they want you to see. With me, y'all already know. What you see is what you get. There's no sugarcoating it. But with most people, they wear a mask. So Diddy very well was wearing a mask to us, but to her, she knows what she's dealing with in that relationship and what it was.
Whole time they talking about she done started a trend shaving the side of her head. She had a Britney Spears moment. And we like, oh, that's a cute style.
They said that Diddy saw a girl with that same haircut and told Cassie, oh, I want you with that.
Oh, I thought she was just had a Britney Spears
No, they said
moment.
Diddy told her to do that. And when Diddy told her to do that, a celebrity was telling the story. Some Harajuku Barbie girl walked by and he was like, oh, I like that. Cassie should get that. He said the next time he saw Cassie, her side of the head was shaved.
That girl mental was all
it messes you up so bad.
But if she was with him since 17, 18, he basically groomed her.
But that's the facts.
Yeah.
Men do groom women. Yeah. I used to like older guys. When I dated,
I still like older men. You don't like older men no more?
Let me tell you this. Me taking care of my dad has healed the inner girl in me. To where I'd lie to you not. Because I had no choice but to face my demons head on. I had to face the reality of things head on. Mm-hmm. This is a person who cared for me, who nurtured me. Mm-hmm. My dad and I kind of had we didn't speak for some years on and off because of my last relationship. And he said, I'm not going to make you choose between me and him. Because one day I'm going to go. And if that's where you want to be, you can be there. Mm-hmm. I'll be here when you're ready.
Yeah.
So when that time came and my dad saw me, he said, Pris, come home. Come home. And it was that moment where I didn't have to fight for myself anymore. Mm-hmm. I went back to where home was, comfort was, safety. I went back to safety. And me going back to safety, I was supposed to be taking care of myself, getting myself back on my feet, doing all the things that I had planned for myself. Mm-hmm. And then I was faced with taking care of him, being his caregiver. Yeah. So my dad didn't play when I was sick. When I was sick, he was sick. When my daughter's sick, her whole life is ruined.
My daughter's sick, I'm ready to call the damn mayor. Do something, please.
But that's how my dad was. I just can't he cared for me and nurtured me and nurtured me and nurtured me and nurtured me. So it was now me returning the favor.
Yeah.
And those areas where I lacked and that I was missing and that I needed this and I needed that, over time, those memories, those childhood things that I thought was so bad, I realized that he was really setting me up for the future. And it was just like things that I used to like, I didn't like. Things that I used to think was interesting wasn't interesting. So the guys my dad always opened the door for me. That is a requirement for me now. He always made time for me. Quality time was the time for us. Those, because there's a connection between who you date and who your father was. Regardless, you're attracted to your trauma. That's just the facts. And because I was forced to handle my trauma, it allowed for me to now, the little girl in me is catching up to the age where I'm at. So I'm no longer 13, 14, 15, 16 being a rebellion. I'm now a woman approaching her 30s. So I'm not looking at guys that are in that age bracket anymore. They don't serve no purpose to me. I don't want a man that's already equipped and a man that already has it all together. I just want somebody who's willing to work along with me. That's not telling me what to do. I was always looking for a man with authority as far as power, status. Whereas masculinity doesn't base off of that. Because I want to feel safe. And I can honestly say that over the time of me taking care of my dad, trying to take care of myself, realizing my wants and my needs and what I wanted in a relationship, I was able to weasel out the fakes. I was able to not look at superficial things and materialistic things. I was able to look at the person for who they were inside because I was watching my dad in his most vulnerable moments. Most vulnerable moments where a child is not supposed to be there. I was literally at a point of planning a funeral. So at that moment, you have to sit and think, and again, my dad doesn't have a girlfriend. He's not married. Who's going to take care of me like this? Who? Because I don't have any daughters. I have sons. I can teach them to be compassionate and loving and caring and this and that, but they're going to have their own families.
Yeah, you can't teach them how to be a man.
I can't teach them, one, how to be a man, but I can't expect for them to leave their families to care for me.
So, in that token of breath, Ashley, like, what would you say, like, with dating and marriage, and like, how was it back then and now? Because I feel like social media has traumatized and drenched us to just feel like, oh, y'all just gotta look cute for the internet, and then everything else doesn't contemplate, like, that man respecting you, that man treating you, putting you in your soft girl era. You know what I'm saying? How is that statistically, like?
So, like, before I get into that, I would say to kind of piggyback off of, like, your experience with your dad, right? I feel like my dad was the opposite. He showed love, and, like, maybe we'll go play tennis here and there, but his way of showing love is protecting the home, going out, working tirelessly to make sure we always have food, drinks on. So it's like my dad, it's not that he wasn't really worried, but he wasn't really worried about the affection of, like, kisses and hugs all day. Like, that he didn't have time for that, because it was more so, as long as my child is safe and I know she's grooming to be somebody tomorrow and she's good with school, good with clothes, like, my normal essential, my proper living essentials was taken care of. That was his way of showing love. And I feel like that's probably, I mean, I don't really know, but maybe that's also the reason why I feel like I kind of like older men, because I do appreciate, like, the hugs and the cuddles and stuff, but the way how I feel like you appreciate me is when you're out there working. I'm not trying to say till you drop, but, like, you're working and you're making sure these lights, when you're providing. And I don't know, maybe that has a lot of, like, stuff to do mentally and all that.
All three of us growing up with our fathers it's totally different.
Right.
You had the loving dad. You just had the dad who didn't show that much affection, but made sure that everything, else was good in the house. I had a dad. He was not affectionate. He did make sure everything was good in the house, but he was very authoritative. My mom raised me. Yeah. He provided.
Right.
He was abusive.
Yeah.
So me growing up seeing, my mom and dad got divorced when I was about 5-6 years old.
Yeah.
And me seeing that, for some crazy reason, a man abusing me turns me on.
That's
and
honestly true.
I don't know, right? And I don't know how to explain it, but just yoking me up, throwing me. It's because that's what I saw. Mm-hmm. That's what I saw growing up.
Now,
so
I
it's
didn't
like
see that. My dad, I never even seen him raise his voice. Now,
right.
Candy, my dad and Candy mom dated. Mm-hmm. And I've never, so she can attest how my dad is. I've never seen him raise a voice at a woman.
Stand-up guy. Ever. I'm not saying my dad was a completely bad guy. My dad had his good ways. One thing my mom always said, he made sure he took. My dad was of status at the time. Right. In Africa, he worked for the immigration, so he had money.
Right.
So
that was more.
And then being in I felt like at the time my mom is dating for status. This man got money. I know he could provide. I kind of in a way feel like I need a man too that can have that status, that can provide.
I think what it is that when they have status, it's not always just because they have status, but I think is when people have status, they do things to maintain that status. Whereas somebody who doesn't really have status is kind of like, they're kind of maybe lenient with their decision making and lenient with like maybe the trajectory of where their life is going. And what I realize is the guys that I am attracted to, most times if they're older, they do have a little bit of status. And I'm not saying you have to be in front of the camera all the time, but working for the immigration, being high in like the police department, you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Or like something that's big, because I know you're not going to let something small or crazy come to affect what you have going on. Mm-hmm. But to answer your question, if I compare like the 20th century to like the 90s kind of love and how things kind of operated, it was just more so of how I said, my father, or maybe how me and Candy father was, where it's just like, I'm not saying your father didn't provide, but where their biggest thing was just providing, right? And just the encounterment of how he maybe have met your mom and how my parents met their mom, my mom. It was like face-to-face interaction was a big thing back then, right? And I feel like now we are more so worried about the status because we all want to live a soft girl era, and some guys want to live soft guys era as well.
Yeah, and that's fine.
And that's fine, but it was really for the ladies.
Sound fine. Just not with me.
It was really for the ladies, but yeah. So it was just more so back in the day. They just wanted more. It was actually more of a connection, like an aura and vibe, your spiritual encounterment between each other, like how you guys feel. And if we thinking about back in the day, yes, there was a lot of people that was more involved in churches, so a lot of them went off of that feeling, just that homey type of feeling. But I feel like nowadays it's just more so of the status and what somebody looks like physically.
Dating seems to be more transactional now.
Yeah, what I contribute for you. And I'm not gonna lie, like if we're always gonna be honest, I'm gonna always be honest. Like if I know that you're not able to contribute in certain factors, I'm not gonna downplay you, but I'm gonna leave you alone because that's not the area I want to go. So if I know that I need certain things like maintained and you're not able to do that, I'm going to leave you alone. And I'm going to go somewhere else that they can be able to maintain those type of things. I don't really say that that's a bad thing. I feel like a lot of people make it seem like women are trying to be gold diggers when we have certain things that we want to upkeep and just kind of maintain. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I just think back in the day, people were just more so off of face-to-face interactions and more homely feelings. There weren't outside noise really coming into the home. And nowadays, everybody is in your conversation because we're in your relationship because we're always posting it. We always want to know people's opinion about what we have going on.
I can attest to this because because I dated somebody who had quote unquote status. Mm-hmm. And that was a provider. Mm-hmm. I had a lot of stuff that outside looking in, it's like, oh, she got it made.
Right.
And I was the most miserable that I ever could have been.
Mm-hmm. And let's include the DV, because,
It was not pretty. Mm-hmm. It was not easy. It was not just the money. It was emotional. It was financial. Mm-hmm. He leveraged his money over me. Yeah. He leveraged my heart over me. He leveraged everything, and it went from being emotional, financially abusive, to then it became physical. Mm. But still, outside looking in, you're like, my life is great. Mm-hmm. And his favorite slogan was, "What, you want a bum nigga to stay at home looking at you all day? Or you want a nigga that can make some money?" Mm-hmm. Growing up, my dad wasn't into all of that. Mm-hmm. My dad made time for me. He changed his schedule for me when I needed to. he will give me his last if he needed to. He did whatever he needed to make sure that I was safe and I was comfortable. And I still felt like, again, as a woman, oh, I want this and I need that and I need this and I need that. I lived in an almost $500,000 house. I wasn't happy with that. And now in my soft girl era, me being with somebody that is nowhere near the status where that was, I am so content. Yeah. I am so content. I am so content. I am so content. A good evening to me is me and him sitting in front of the waterfront and talking. Yeah, that is the best thing that you can get. Peace. In your dating journey, you need your peace. And my dad always told me that from when I was a kid. You need your peace. If you don't have peace, you don't have nothing. And I realized the question was, what do I need to obtain peace? And that is how I started going into my dating journey. Because my dad was my safety. So I needed to make sure that I have that for myself. And I think it's good.
Yeah. Candy, how do you feel about maybe back in the day dating compared to now?
I feel like when it comes to DV back in the day, a lot of women just took it and stayed because who you know still married for 50 years.
Right.
Nobody in this day and age is always the people from years ago. So I feel like when it comes to that type of relationship, they stayed because at the time is what you had to do. In hindsight now in 2025, in light, Cassie is married. She on her second child. She's happily married. You know,
you're afraid to start over.
Everything is good. So she was brave enough to leave. I feel like back in the day, a lot of women was not brave enough to leave. So they stayed, since we're on the hindsight of like DV. They stayed and took whatever they had to do, as well as my mom at that time in the 90s. Right. She stayed, she took what she had to take because of status, because he was providing X, Y, and Z. Now, in 2025 for me, if I'm going to stay, I'm not going to stay in a DV relationship because I fight niggas, okay?
Can you tell them what DV means in case anybody don't know?
Well, I don't know if we could say domestic violence on YouTube, but domestic violence, I know I can't be with no man that hit on me because I'm going to fight him.
Yeah.
So
and she's serious.
I'm dead ass. If you see me fighting a gorilla, find help for the gorilla.
If you see me in the forest fighting with a grizzly bear, help the bear.
Help the bear, please, because it ain't me. Okay? But in light of all of this, Cassie has moved on. She's happy. She's good. And I love that for her. I think all women should always take a stand, take a step. Whether you're a woman or a man in whatever domestic violence relationship you're in, leave the best way you can. I know it's going to be hard. It's going to be scary. But I feel like if you live through life and not taking sacrifices, you would never know. In anything you do, you have to take a step. You have to take that sacrifice. And honestly, just leave it on your faith. Yeah. I know God gonna have me regardless. And in hindsight, I did find a toll-free number for anyone who's in a domestic violence situation, 1-800-799-7233. You can call, you can text 88288 to speak to someone promptly if you need help to exit whatever situation you're in. You know, we'll put it down in the description box if you want to reach out to us to even talk about ways to get out of your situation. We're all here for that.
And I want to just add one more thing just to piggyback off of what you said. As far as women, get out when you can. And I feel like that goes for every woman, but for all of us to be foreign, that really goes out to our foreign women.
Yeah.
Because a lot of them feel as though they have to stay for the sake of their children. Well, I mean, I guess everybody has come in the same
I got
reasons.
5 children with him.
Yeah,
I gotta stay. Listen, them 5 kids gonna get them a stepdaddy.
And don't let him tell you that you won't find nobody, because best believe
you will.
I am a walking testimony. Yeah, you will find somebody. You will find somebody. There is happiness on the other side. Candy know how many times I used to call her crying. I wanted life to be over. But when you finally just take that challenge, sometimes it takes you to have to be that voice. Are you willing to be that voice?
Yeah.
So to close, I hope you guys enjoyed this segment of us highlighting DV and ways to get out. We hope you use this information that we give y'all. This is another episode of Gertie's Group Chat. See you next time. Bye.